Woo! Look at us all live and shit. Good morning, everyone. Whoop. Let's get on Facebook there. All right, we are here. Whoa. Okay, can't do that. Whoa. Now, give me a second. I have me talking at myself through YouTube. All right. And mute that stuff. There we go. Now I can't hear myself talking 2 seconds later. So, all right. It is Tuesday, October 6th, 2020. The first thing I'd like to do is Jill is Jill sprained her ankle this morning. She's at the ER, so if we could get some prayers for her, that would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So you guys know I do this. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching the live or you're watching the rewatch, please let me know that you're here. Got a topic? Like something that you'd like to hear the next day, next couple of days? Please let me know. I think today may be a breathing day for Dion. I am in a mood. When I say I'm in a mood, I'm going to stir stuff up today. Not on here. I wouldn't do it on here. This is for daily reflection. Is for a daily reflection, man. No. Um, but you'll see some other videos after this one. They'll be on my page. I probably won't put them on any groups or anything like that. Before we get started facing ourselves, how come I'm checking? Feel like I'm not getting anything. Oh well, you guys will let me know. There's one quick way to find out. Checking. Can I hear myself? Something happened. Do-do-do. Checking my audio. Okay, it's working. It must have been on my side. I apologize for that. Okay, so facing ourselves and what we need to do. Well, let's just kind of get down to it. Let's do it. So facing ourselves. Guys, we either want this program or we don't. We either want recovery or we don't. Okay. It's kind of like being pregnant. We're either pregnant or we're not. Okay. The what you are going to get out of the program is exactly what you're going to put into it. Okay. So if you put in half measures, you are going to get half measures. But unfortunately, for people like us, half measures don't account for anything. Okay. I know that sucks, but we have to be all in, just like we were with our drinking and our drugging. And if we don't like the result, that's fine. You can go back. You can go back to doing what you were doing. That's fine. We will refund your misery, and hopefully we will see you back at the rooms. That's what we're hoping for. Facing ourselves, and fear says, "You dare not look." And that's how the 12 steps, 12 traditions. Of course, the depressive and power drivers are personality extremes types with which AA and whole world abound. Okay. Gosh, that went into a weird place, didn't it? So what they're saying is there are different types of people. Okay, we have left brain, we have right brain, right? I mean, we do. Some better. Or have you ever noticed if you're really good at math, you probably suck at English. If you're really good at English, you probably suck at math. Okay, I'm very good at English, and I tear math apart. That's why I got to have 5 calculators around, right? So, but even though we have those two extreme types, let's just get into it. Often, these personalities are just as sharply defined as the examples given, but just as often, some of us will fit more or less into both classifications. Human beings are never quite alike, so each of us, when making an inventory, will need to determine what his individual character defects are. Having found the shoes fit, he ought to step into them and walk with new confidence that he is at last on the right track. Um, so what they're saying, what I'm getting from that is, good morning, Jill. Doing it from Jill coming live from the ICU, ladies and gentlemen. Too bad I'm on here. I'd just add her on screen. We'd ask her how she's doing. So we get to a point we start talking to our sponsor, and just knowing that we're working on our character defects can give us a new attitude, a new lease on life. Okay. Because when you're doing your 4-step, you work on it 15, 20 minutes a day, and then you put it away and go on with the rest of your day. I don't want you sitting in that misery 24 hours a day. That's not very fair. Now let's ponder the need for the list of a more glaring personality defects all of us have in varying degrees. To those having religious training, such a list would set forth serious violations of moral principles. Some others will think of this list as defects of characters. Still others will call it an index of maladjustments. They're all just words. Some will become quite annoyed if there is talk about immorality, let alone sin. But all who are at least reasonable will agree upon one point, that there is plenty wrong with us alcoholics, about which plenty will have to be done if we are to expect sobriety progress and any real ability to cope with life. To avoid falling into confusion over these defects should be called, let's just take a universally recognized list of major human failings. So instead of just taking it, let's not reinvent the wheel. That's what I was looking for, and go with what they have here. The 7 deadly sins of pride, greed, lust, anger, gluttony, envy, and sloth. It is not by accident that pride heads to procession, for pride leading to self-justification, always spurred by conscious and unconscious fear, is a basic breeder of most human difficulties. The chief block is true progress. Ooh, this is tough shit, man. Hey, because while I was reading that, pride, me, greed, me, lust, me, anger, me, gluttony, me. I don't like to eat, but gluttony can come in different forms. Envy, me, sloth, me. Okay, there's all my character defects just staring at me, saying, "Work on me, help me." You know, you got to help them. Okay. Pride lures us into making demands upon ourselves or upon others which cannot be met without perverting or misusing our God-given instincts. Ouch. When the satisfaction of our instincts for sex, security, and society becomes the sole object of our lives, then pride steps in to justify our excesses. Are all these failing generate? Okay, we're gonna get into it. Okay, because I was taught a long time ago that all of this comes down to fear. Everything is fear based, and it just made sense. It made sense to me, so that's how I pass it on. All these failings generate fear, a soul sickness in its own right. Then fear in turn generates more character defects. Unreasonable fear that our instincts will not be satisfied drives us to covet the possessions of others. Okay. So we get into that fear, and then we start looking for other things to make us feel better outside of God. To lust for sex and power, to become angry when our instinctive demands are threatened, to be envious when the ambitions of others seem to be realized while ours are not. We eat, drink, and grab for more of everything than we need, fearing we shall never have enough. Okay? Remember that? Never having enough. There is not, I can tell you this, there is not enough alcohol in this world for my appetite. And with genuine alarm at the prospect of work, we stay lazy. We loaf and procrastinate, or at best, we work grudgingly under half steam. These fears are termites and ceaselessly devour the foundation of whatever sort of life we try to build. So when AA suggests a fearless moral inventory, it seems to every newcomer that more is being asked of him than he can do. Both his pride and his fear beat him back every time he tries to look with himself. Pride says, "You need not pass this way," and fear says, "You dare not." But the testimony of AAs who have really tried a moral inventory is that pride and fear, this sort of turn, ought to be boogeymen, nothing else. Once we have complete willingness to take inventory and exert ourselves to the job thoroughly, a wonderful light falls upon this foggy scene. As we persist, a new kind of confidence is born, and the sense of relief at finally facing ourselves is indescribable. These are the fruits of step 4. So we build a really good foundation in 1, 2, and 3, right? And we get to 4 and our foundation just falls apart. Okay? That has to do with our fearless and thorough moral inventory. That is fear. Okay? I would talk to your sponsor about that, probably. Do it, spend a little bit of time on step 3. You're not in any fucking rush, man. All right. Some people need to rush through these steps. I gotta rush. Some of us take a little bit more time. There's no time limit on this. So give yourself time. We all get it in different times. Okay. We are unique. You are a unique person. Okay. You are not terminally unique. You're not so unique that other people can't understand you. Okay. How often I avoided a task in my drinking days just because it appeared so large. Man, that happens to me now. Is it any wonder, but back then it was like calling and getting a script for my heart meds. I mean, stuff like that was overwhelming. Now, that's not so much so. So please don't take. Now my overwhelmings are a little bit more overwhelming. But that's why I have people in my life. Is it any wonder, even if I have been sober for some time, that I will act the same way when faced what appears to be a monumental job, such as a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself? You have not been in the program that long. Give yourself a little bit of ease. All right? There's hope in this step. What I discover after I arrive at the other side when my inventory is completed is that the illusion was greater than the reality. The fear of facing myself kept me at a standstill, and until I became willing to put pencil to paper, I was arresting my own growth based on an intangible. Okay, so you were saying, well, I'm refusing to grow because I do not know what's going to happen. Yeah, that's and that is faith, right? So let's go back to willingness. Are you willing to do the work? Yes. Okay. Are you willing to do anything? Okay. Well, I don't know. That is an honest answer, guys. I don't know is an okay answer. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. Let's talk about it more. Okay. But what really comes down to is, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired, or do you want to sit there and wallow in your bullshit forever? It's really what it comes down to. You're never going to become that person that you're looking for unless you do that 4th step and the 5th and the 6th and the 7th. Okay. And I tell you why. Because one day, I was just talking to somebody last week, 27 years sober, out of nowhere, a drink sounds good. 27 years sober. 27. Right? Well, certainly, Dion. I mean, as you know, if you actually think about it, that's actually a pretty good record, right? Out of 27 years, it happened. It waited that long. It also shows us that it's tricky, though, and it can come back at any time. I say congratulations. It took that long, but what was it? And what was their first reaction? They went to a meeting. They decided they were going to go help another alcoholic. Okay. So if you're having a hard time with the 4th step, there's a great suggestion in here. I need faith and willingness. Thank you, Chris. And Chris would know this. I've seen Crystal, we've all been, life on life's terms doesn't stop just because we get into recovery. We actually now have to face life, right? But we get to do it with other people and we get to face it successfully. And then we get to come out on the other side, go, woohoo, I'm going to show you guys how to do it too. This is pretty cool stuff. I remember going bowling last night. This is weird, and great things start to happen. I tell you now, if recovery was boring, I would not be able to be in it. Okay? I wouldn't be able to do it. Okay? Recovery is a lot of fun once we get to the point where we can be honest with ourselves fully. All right, guys, that'll be it for today. Jill, I hope you start feeling better. Let me know how you're doing, honey. And I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Today is Tuesday. We have a podcast coming out. Fantastic podcast. All right, guys, have a great day. I love you. You know I do. Love you, love you, love you. Peace out and have a day.